In our last video, we have covered an overview of artifact services, what are the different type of artifact services, and what are the different interfaces to interact with the artifact services. In this particular video, we are going to cover the code part, how to create artifact, how to load artifact using ADK web. So let's get started with that. So before writing anything specific to artifacts, we will try to run our basic agent code first. So this is our basic agent. And to run this, I would just go to our parent directory. So here you can see everything I have created under this new folder, which is 10 artifacts. And here we do have this upload artifact folder. So I would just go to this 10 artifact because this is going to be the parent folder to run the agent, which is located in under the upload folder. I just go to cd artifacts and then our usual command, I'm just going to run ADK web. And when this has been triggered, I will just go to ADK web UI. From here, I just need to select our folder. And now I would like to show you a few things. So here you can see we do have this artifact tab on the ADK web UI, but there is nothing as such in this case. Let me just try to upload a local file. So I'm just uploading a simple text file, very small text file. And I'm just going to ask summarize the content of it. And I just got a response. But even in this case, you can see after uploading this file, it is not showing up in the artifact because we didn't ask our agent to treat this file as an artifact. So that's why it's still considering this as a normal file. You can still upload it and ask question on top of it, but this is going to be stored in your session. This is going to consume the bandwidth in the context window. In the first course section, what I want agent to save the user uploaded file as an artifact. Few things are important whenever we deal with artifact. So to access the artifact, we need some kind of context. It could be your callback context or it could be your tool context. And here actually we are going to deal all this artifact using tool context. So from here .tool context and then I can import tool context. So now this would give me access to tool context. The second thing what we need to do is, because here we are asking our file to be saved as an artifact and there is an interface for that which we have covered in our last video, which was save artifact. So I'm just going to write some method, custom method first. So I'm just going to say save report artifacts. And under this, we have to pass our tool context, which would be like this. And this is going to come from this tool context. And then we need to pass our report content, which is going to come from the file. And we know the content of the file is in the string format. So we are just declaring it over here, just like this. Now you can see our autopilot has been suggesting few things and this is looking correct. So I would just go ahead and accept it. Now what's happening over here? If you want to deal any kind of binary file as an artifact, then there are two things required. First thing is going to be the content of a file. This should be in the form of bytes. So suppose like in this particular case, our text file is having string. So what we are doing over here, we are converting it into bytes. And this data byte is going to give me the bytes. If you're not converting into bytes, you won't be able to save the file as an artifact. So the first requirement is to convert all the data what we have in the file as bytes. And the second is now actually we can go ahead and create the artifacts. And to create the artifact, we are using this particular method over here. And as you can see, okay, there are some error coming. So to fix this, what we can do is we can just import the types from the google.genai. So in this case, you are passing your data and you have to define the MIME type for this. Because in this case, we are dealing it with the file. So this is going to be text/plain. And then you can pass your bytes over here. But everything should go under this method. So this is types.part. Then you are passing your inline data. And under this inline data, you are passing your MIME type and your byte data. Now, this is related to text file. That's why you are passing this text.plain. But as we know, like artifact is not just to text file. We can deal with images, audio, video, and different kind of files. And when we are dealing with all those different kind of files, then MIME type is going to get changed. let's say if you are dealing with images, then your MIME type is going to be image/PNG. For audio, it's going to be something else. For videos, it's going to be something else. So these are the different MIME type that you have to pass it. And the data, whatever actually you are reading from all the different file, it has to be in the byte format. These are the two primary criteria when we want to declare anything, any file as an artifact. So this would help you to create that artifact. And after that, like why that context thing was required, because once you pass this tool context, so under this tool context, you would be getting all these different methods. So ToolContext.save artifact is going to help you to save your file as an artifact. So if I show you over here, if I go to tool under context and do this dot, then you can see there are n number of methods over here. So we do have a list artifact, we do have load artifact, save artifact. Using this context only, you would get access to these particular methods. So if you're not using any kind of context, then you won't be able to access these methods. So that's why the context is required. And in this case, we are specifically asking like save artifact. Here we can see the file has been hard coded, but we don't know like what would be the name of the text file which user is going to put over there. So what I can do is I can just say file name and I can just declare a string. And here I can just pass the file name. Okay. And the second part is the artifact part. So here we have declared our artifact. So when we have to save something, then we have to mention the file name, as you can see, and we have to mention the artifact part. So we have just added it over here. Now our save report artifact tool is ready. I'm just going to change the instruction of it because I want whatever files user is uploading to be treated as an artifact. I will just change the instruction in this case. And now I'm specifically asking agent, when the user uploads any kind of text file, please use save report artifact tool to save the file as an artifact with the provided file name. Only additional thing what we have to do is I have to pass that particular tool which we have declared over here. So this is going to be save report artifact. Now let me just try to run this code using ADK web. So I just invoked ADK web. So now I would just go ahead and upload this same file once more. And this is just a demo of how actually you can save your file as an artifact. And I would just say hi, in this case to agent. And it's saying, for example, would you like me to save this report as an artifact? I would say yes. Now I'm hoping, okay, something is going to get popped up over here. It's saying, okay, what file name would you like me to use? So I would just say reports. And now you can see like it has triggered this particular tool which we have created. And the file has been saved over here. If I download this file, I can download this artifact and I can open this one. If I open this, I can see the content of it. Now this is about like saving your file as an artifact. Every time when you save the artifact, it is going to come with the version number. Let's say, okay, you have made some changes in the file and then you are going to save the file again. So I am directly just passing it over here, save this file as an artifact. I would just say reports once more. And you can see the version number got changed over here. So now you have 0 version number, you have 1 version number. So whenever you are retrieving your artifact, so you can also retrieve it based on the version number. By default, if you are not passing any version number, then it's always going to take the new one. So in this case, it's always going to take the first one. You can see it's automatically checked over here. But if you want to pass any specific version while loading the artifact, then you can also pass the version number. And this demo was just for uploading your file as an artifact. But we know like when we have to interact with artifact, then we have to load that artifact also. For that, so we have to make certain changes in the code. Either actually you can declare your load artifact as a second method over here. We just have to pass tool.artifact, and after that you can invoke the method under tool context to load artifact, and you don't have to pass all this. If I show you that particular method, then it's going to be the load artifact over here. And if I just click on load artifact, then you only need to pass the file number and version, right? So In this case, this particular thing is not required because here you were saving your artifact, but once you load anything, you just need to pass your file name over there and with the version number if you want to deal with any different version of your file. But rather than writing this particular load artifact tool is already available in this Google ADK.tools package. So you don't need to define anything. You can directly import it from here and then you can pass the instruction in the agent. In this case, you can see you are an helpful assistant. When the user asks you to create any report or document, you must then call the save report artifact tool immediately with the full content to save it as an artifact. So here you can see like I have this given certain instruction, certain step. You have to have like this step performed before you move forward. And in case of any question about previously saved artifact, you can use the load artifact tools to retrieve them, right? So now actually we can just go ahead and pass our methods directly. This save report artifact is the same method that we have used earlier. I have just declared the file name over here. You can also pass the file name as a string and then at the runtime you can pass the file name. And the second method is directly coming from the tool one. So this is going to be the load artifact. So now let's go ahead and try to run this. So I will go over here. In this case, I will just say generate load. So before actually passing instruction, we can see, okay, there is nothing in the artifact. What I'm going to ask, please generate 100 words report on AI agents ecosystem. And you can see like the report has been created and it has been automatically saved as an artifact. So you can see the report has been saved as an artifact. Our tool has been invoked to save this particular report as an artifact. And let me just go ahead and ask some questions. So I can just say, summarize this report. Now you can see to get the content of it, it has invoked this load artifact tool and it has summarized the content of it. And you may have noticed like in our last video, we have talked about the different type of artifact services, but here we cannot see anything like that because here actually we have been trying to interact with artifact services using ADK web. So it has been utilizing this in-memory artifact services. So it has been invoking everything under the hood without us writing anything. But in our next video, we'll try to interact with the artifact services without ADK web. And we will see like how we can specifically actually mention all these artifact services and how we can use it to save and interact with large files. That's all what we have in this video. Thank you for watching.